Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Nothing wrong with living below your means. Now, this is a very key thing because you get a lot of people who make some money and they think they got to keep up with the Joneses. And I'm gonna get into that in the next podcast. It's like, no, you don't. It's nothing wrong. Just because you're making money doesn't mean you have to spend it. That's actually a poverty mentality. See, one of the things that rich and wealthy people do, when they make money, they will put their money into income producing assets. They will do stuff to make more money. So, say they making a very modest amount, even though 75% of the at least American population, which means ultimately world population, ain't making it, but $50,000. $50,000. You don't have to spend all of that money. There's nothing wrong with living like you're making $30,000. Okay, say you're making 50. It's no problem at all living like you're making 30. Because, after you take care of taxes out of that and everything, you still have a little bit left. See, the thing is, when you live below your means, then you can invest your money in assets, income-producing assets, stocks, bonds, different types of digital currency, things of that nature, to make more money. That's the key thing. But see, what a lot of people do, let's use the $50,000 example again. Some people will live like they're actually making $80,000. How do they do it? What do they do? They get the credit cards, and then they paying the credit cards every month. Or they'll live in a home that's really too expensive for them. They'll do something. They'll buy things that they really don't need. You get a lot of people, they might have a modest home, but then that expensive car that drains money. They're paying $500 a month in a car note, and then insurance, and you got to put gas in it, and then just regular repairs if something go on. Shoot, you might be paying $1,000 when you could have just got a good used car, you're paying $200 a month on it. And like I said, a good used car that's in good repair, you're not spending as much, then you got that extra, after the insurance, say the insurance is $100. Gas and everything, another, I'll say the other stuff, 500. I mean, not 500, 200. So, okay, you get a less expensive car below your means. You paying $500 a month, total gas, all that stuff. But then that's $500 that the other person is spending, that you save. Well, one, it does go in your savings. Two, you can buy maybe some real estate fund stocks or something, or, get in on like some inexpensive stock. You might be able to get the next biggest thing, or save it for a business, something like that, or do something, just basically put it to make money. But see, what happens is with a lot of people who live exactly at their means and above their means. Okay, why are they doing it? Because they buying extra stuff that they don't necessarily need. They living on credit. See, and that's something too, because you have a lot of people when they living above their means, the only way they can really do that is have the credit cards, and then they paying the credit cards, which the credit cards companies don't mind. They want you to. They try to incentivize you to do that. But the thing is, you look up and it's like, well, wait a minute, how you spending all this money? And especially the poor do it, and then they get caught. They might go to a pawn shop, get a little bit of money, but then they end up paying that pawn shop more than they actually took out a loan for. And then you got to pay that money. You got to pay that little bit of money and the extra just to get the stuff out. So it's like, well, wait a minute. You spending all this extra money. And see, here's the thing, too. If you living at your means or above, then it's literally one paycheck away. It takes something. Like a lot of people went through something with the recent COVID lockdowns. the people who couldn't actually work. And because, yeah, they were given these unemployment benefits and, these stimulus checks and all of that. But there's a lot of people who are messed up. A lot of people who, quite frankly, are being foreclosed. A lot of people in places where they ended, eviction moratorium are about to get kicked out because they ain't have anything to fall back on. They living at their means or above. See, here's the thing, and I'm going to get even more into this in the next podcast. You still want to make money to have the basics, to put the roof over your head, get a motor vehicle if you need to, be able to eat in a healthy manner. There's nothing wrong. Those are basics. It's when the extras come in. It's when the extras come in and you live beyond it. Now, and then you thinking, well, what can I do? And then you end up taking more time. You might have to get a part-time job to help pay for stuff. But then instead of being smart with it, paying stuff down, getting things under control, sometimes people live even beyond their means. I've met people who are making good money and they get a part-time job and they still be broke. That's because they make the money and it goes right back out. It goes right back out. And that's a key issue. That's a key issue that many people need to do. But there's nothing wrong with living below your means. There's nothing wrong if you making 100,000 living like you making 50. Because I say that from personal experience. I personally live below my means. I personally live below my means because I'm thinking, you know what? I feel good having that much money in my savings. I feel good being able to invest right away in something that I need to help me build my business. Like, for example, I remember, I used another desktop before for the business to record and everything, and it started going bad. It was a great feeling just to walk to a store and just get a laptop, and you could pay cash for it. Didn't have to get credit, anything like that. Just paid cash for it and kept it going and wrote it off on my taxes. So it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong because when people are living beyond their means, there's some bigger issues, which I'll get into in the next podcast. All right. So let's go make that money.